Well, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Favor Campbell, and welcome to my first ever YouTube channel posting, YouTube channel page, all of that stuff. As you get to know me, you're gonna really know that I'm a little behind on some of probably like a lot of social media, some of it by choice. But like the YouTube channel subscriptions, I probably actually am going to have to enlist the help of my 13-year-old because this is a brand new venture for me. Other than just kind of going on and looking at some YouTube things, sporadically. I haven't subscribed to any channels or anything like that. So here I am starting my brand new channel myself and really not knowing what's going to happen. So Fit for Your Purpose. That is the name of my brand new mentoring group that I have started from the ground up. And it has been an amazing blessing. Just everything from being able to get this thought, envision it, write up everything and see it come to fruition, as far as having my first meeting a couple weeks ago and having young ladies at my house to talk and to feed into them. I'm so excited. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of introduction about me. And then I'm going to explain the whole concept behind Fit for Your Purpose and what's to come, what you can expect from once you subscribe to my channel. So that way you know what to look for and what, when you get that notification, I guess, about that I've uploaded a new video, then you can know what you're expecting. Okay, so again, a little bit about me. Again, my first name is Favor. That is my real name. No change in it. That's the question I get asked all the time. I don't even have a great story to go along with it. It's just me. My students know me as Professor Campbell. I am a full-time sociology instructor at the university here in the city I live in Texas. And the first 20 years of my life, I was born and raised in the great and wonderful state of California, where the majority of my family still lives. So when I say home, I'm actually referring to California. But for the past 16 years, I have now lived in the great and wonderful state of Texas. So kind of the opposite of California. Californians and Texans, I think deep down they dislike each other as much as they say they do. But I love both states for different reasons. So my daughter was born here, so she's a true through and through Texan. So I do. I love living here, but I also love going home and I miss the beach and, all those sorts of things that make me a true Californian at heart. I'm a single mom to a 13-year-old daughter. Matter of fact, she just turned 13 this past weekend, so I officially have a teenager for a while. She is amazing. I mean, if I had to sum her up in one word, she's amazing. Every mom is going to say that, right? But she actually really is. So between being a single mom and working full time and Jaden being involved in 50 million activities that she does, which is awesome, we stay pretty busy. Spare time doesn't really exist a whole lot in our household, but once we get a weekend where we actually have nothing, well, the first thing we panic because we're like, did we forget something? And then once we realize we didn't, then it becomes just like a straight up bum weekend where we can just lay on the couch in PJs and watch movies or something of that nature. So, but my hands are kind of in a whole bunch of different activities or just different ventures right now. I'm a full-time sociology instructor, but I'm also a part-time personal trainer. I don't train as many clients as I had probably hoped I would, just for the sake of time. I just haven't had as much time as I thought, especially being newly single and single momhood, as I call it, for the past few years. So trying to balance everything it's a real life struggle, but I do the very best that I can. And so I do have clients here and there, and I turned my garage into my gym. So whenever I have clients, I just bring them on over to my house and train them here. And I'm also in the process of getting my certification to become a life coach as well. So I'm kind of doing everything right now and making baby steps to get to the end goal. So Fit for Your Purpose, what it is, why I started it, all of that. Let's see if I can say this in about 2 or 3 minutes. So I came up with this idea. It's completely my own. It's not tied to my job at work. The only way it's tied is that the members of my mentoring group are former students of mine. I do have a little clause, if you will, that says current students can't be a part of it just because that's a conflict of interest. But former students that I've had and in some capacity, whether they've taken all my courses or just one. And I handpicked about 10 young ladies to be in this group. And basically, I saw, I guess, probably saw myself in all of these ladies, a little bit of myself, where I just see them, headed down this path of greatness, and I want to help them to be able to stay the path and be a sounding board and help them get fit for their purpose. That doesn't just mean in one area. For me, it's holistically. So being fit academically, being fit physically, obviously, being fit mentally, being fit spiritually, just this whole package. Is it hard to get to that point? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hands down. But is it doable? Absolutely. Yes, it is. So I looked at these ladies and thought, man, I wish I had a person in my life at some point who went through the same path that I went through and, could relate and could, give me feedback and suggestions and, be a sounding board and just, when life just feels like it's unbearable, when you're trying to balance schoolwork and families and relationships and work and everything else, or any unnecessary, I shouldn't say unnecessary, but unexpected storm that comes in your life in the midst of all that, just having someone to help you stay the course that knows exactly what you've been through. So that's why I've started this mentoring group. Right now, we meet at my house, and, for me, I'm a sociology instructor. So what that means is I'm aware of human behaviors and why we do the things we do. And meeting at my house was important because environment matters. I didn't want to do it at work because then, it's kind of borderline. It becomes work related, but I wanted everyone to come here and just kick their shoes off and we cook or order food and just hang out. And I want everybody to feel at home. And when you're in that environment, you feel more comfortable, you open up more. So meeting at my house was really important to do. So because of that, right now it's just young ladies. And then there's just a certain set of circumstances that as women we go through. It's not knocking the guys, but we feel a lot of times more connected and feel more comfortable to be able to share if we're around other ladies, especially other ladies who are in the same season of life as we are, which all of these young ladies are. They're all either finishing up undergrad and headed to grad school or medical school. They're transitioning, so they're filling out applications, or they're studying for MCATs or GREs, or some are stepping into grad school. So I've been there. I've been a student at every point in my life, a traditional 18-year-old right out of high school. I was a student athlete, so I understand that balance. Then I got married at 20, so that was kind of weird. And, I was a 20-year-old married college student. And then I stopped going for a while, and then I went back to finish my bachelor's when I was about 28. And by that time, I had my daughters. So I was a mom, and I was balancing family life and everything that comes with that. So I get it all the way around. So my goal is to be able to serve in a servant leadership type capacity to where I'm able to, again, feed into these ladies' lives and help them get fit for their purpose. So the YouTube channel, I figured, you know what? I can only hold so many people in my house. And so right now I have a closed group, which basically means it's the same group of ladies. We just started, and I want to keep it that way for a while because when you have I hope I said it was a closed group, not open group. It's a closed group. I don't want it to be open right now because when you have people coming in and out, you're not able to build that rapport. And so that's the next stage. I'll figure out how to keep this group together and then maybe start another one or something like that. So it's in the early stages. We've only had our first meeting, but it went so great and we had such a great topic. So a couple things. I also want to be able to feed into so many other students' lives, whether they're my students or not. I just obviously have a passion for students because I teach college. And so being able to have a place they can go that's positive. Should I say that part again? That's positive. Once I get my daughter helping me, hopefully there's a word here I'm pointing to. No negativity allowed. Period. We got enough of that happening in society right now, right? We need a place where we can go and get motivated. And I'm always looking for motivational YouTube channels. And, I feel so great after. I feel like I can conquer the world a lot of times after I've listened to something motivating. So positivity is a must. Now, does that mean we won't talk about something that's challenging? No, we will, right? But the negative comments and all that sort of stuff, that's a no-go. That's not going to happen because, again, we have enough of that happening in society. So I want to be able to expand, and I've had male students that I want to be able to feed into their life. So this is a way that I can kind of get out there without having 2,500 students in my house, which just is, some kind of violation or something. So I'm hoping that as you watch, you're inspired, you get something great out of this, and that you will pass it on to somebody who could really use it. So that's my goal, and that's what I hope will happen. What I teach sociology, which is the study of human groups, interactions, behaviors, not to be confused with psychology, which is the study of the brain, and that happens a lot of times, but I'm all about the why behind everything that we do, and that's what sociology teaches us. So I understand life from a certain angle, if you will, but not only that, my faith is big, and I am not ashamed of that. I will talk about it, when necessary, so I get life from several different perspectives, and I think in a not so conceited way, I think that's what makes me good at my job. First of all, I love it, but I'm able to see things from different angles and not be judgmental about them, and be able to, it's just like I teach my students, you don't always have to agree, but being able to say, what, I get why you feel that way. I'm able to wear that hat a lot of times. And so I want to use that for a positive venture. So that's what this is for. So what I hope happens is that every week, if not every week, then every 2 weeks, I can post something motivational. A lot of times it will be based off of the topic that we talked about in my mentoring group, without sharing specific details, but the overall topic. So for example, our first topic we talked about was fear and doing things afraid. And I'll get into that. That's not a phrase that I came up with. That's the title of a book that I actually absolutely love from a wonderful speaker that I actually follow, Joyce Myers. So I was able to use that and tie it into what I actually, wanted to talk about to these ladies, and it went over so well. So that is the gist of what Fit for Your Purpose is about. I hope I was specific enough. I don't want this to be scripted. I want it to be real because I'm a real person. I have bad days just like everybody else. I'm flawed. I, have a list of 20 things, and some days I get through 2, it feels like. I try to own my mistakes. Some days I feel super confident and super secure, and other days I feel like, I just want to hide underneath the covers. I'm just like you. I'm a real person, a real mom. I can be stay-at-home mom mode if I need to, where I can bake up a bunch of cupcakes from scratch. I can throw a birthday party like nobody's business. And then I can also put on my professor hat and do that as well. So a little multifaceted here. So I hope a lot of that comes through and makes this page what I want it to be, this channel, not page, right? So that's it. That's all I got for now. Thank you so much for checking out my intro. Subscribe. That way you can get my updates. And I look forward to being able to, see the positive comments. Look, I'm a realist, so I know I'm not going to say something that everybody is going to agree with. But what I just mean is that, the hate-filled stuff and all that, we can reserve that for somewhere else, right? This is about positivity, growth, encouragement, motivation, etc. So again, thank you for checking out my channel, and I look forward to all the conversations that are to come. So that's it. Stay fit.